Okay, so let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive today into infidelity in men, a really complex topic.
Definitely complex, and our aim isn't to excuse it, right? But more to understand it.
Exactly. Not excuse, not condemn, just understand. We've looked at some, well, pretty insightful material that goes beyond the usual simple answers.
Yeah, trying to get at some of the deeper reasons.
Right. So the goal here is to give you listening, maybe a more nuanced view, maybe even a few aha moments on this really sensitive subject.
And the source material we're drawing from, it lays out several key factors that seem to pop up often. We're going to try and connect those dots.
Okay. So, mission statement.
Hmm.
Let's shed some light, get a more informed perspective, but absolutely not provide excuses.
Couldn't have said it better. Where should we start?
Well, how about we start with something that might actually surprise some people? Uh, Emotional dissatisfaction,
Ah, yes. Because there's this common idea, isn't there? That it's mostly women who need that deep emotional connection.
right? That stereotype. But the material we looked at really emphasizes that, men need to feel valued too,
Yeah.
respected, appreciated.
Heard. Genuinely heard. It's fundamental.
Totally. And it feels like maybe society doesn't always give men the space to even ask for that.
That's a huge part of it. So when those emotional needs aren't met, maybe aren't even spoken about within the relationship.
Then the source suggests cheating can become this really misguided attempt to find that validation somewhere else, like a shortcut,
A damaging shortcut, absolutely. It sort of bypasses the hard work, doesn't it? The work of actually talking, communicating vulnerably.
which just makes you wonder how much pain could be avoided if people felt safe enough to just talk
Yeah.
about what they actually need.
It sounds so simple, but it's often the biggest barrier. Hmm.
Okay, so moving from the internal emotional world, another big factor the source brings up is, well, opportunity and temptation.
Right. And this isn't about saying, oh, the situation made them do it. It's not an excuse.
No, definitely not. It's more about understanding the context, the environment.
Exactly. The source mentions the proximity effect, which is pretty interesting. Basically, spend enough time near someone.
And they start to feel familiar, maybe even safe. And that can lead to, well, unexpected attachments sometimes.
Precisely. So think about environments like late nights at work, maybe business trips where the usual routines are gone.
Or even just having colleagues who are maybe a bit too flirty, blurring those lines.
Yeah, those situations can definitely increase the, let's say, risk if personal boundaries aren't really strong and clear.
And the source is clear. Opportunity is a factor, a contributing element,
Yeah.
but it never removes personal responsibility, right?
Absolutely not. It just highlights how important self-awareness and those proactive boundaries really are in all parts of life, really.
Okay, so that's opportunity. What's next? The source shifts focus a bit more internally again,
Mm.
talks about lack of self-control, impulse issues,
Yes, this angle suggests that sometimes the driving force isn't dissatisfaction with the relationship, but something internal to the person.
like chasing a thrill, that adrenaline rush you get from doing something forbidden.
That seems to be part of it for some, yeah. The source even touches on brain chemistry, like dopamine regulation issues, almost like an addiction to newness.
Wow. So it might not even be about the partner at all in those cases.
It might not be. It could be more about this internal struggle, this craving for novelty, for that rush, which really shows how complex this is, doesn't it?
It really does. It's not always a simple cause and effect with the relationship itself.
Yeah.
Okay, fourth point. This one feels kind of potent. Insecurity and ego boosting.
Ah, yes. This is a big one. Feeling inadequate in some area of life, maybe work isn't going well, or fears about aging, feeling irrelevant.
And infidelity becomes a way to sort of prop up the ego, to
Yeah.
feel desirable again, or powerful, or young.
Exactly. It's like a quick, temporary confidence boost.
Yeah.
It's incredibly dangerous, obviously.
Like getting validation from the outside because you can't find it inside.
Precisely. But it's built on deception, so it doesn't actually fix the insecurity, does it? It just papers over it, usually making things worse in the long run.
Yeah, avoids the real work of building self-worth from the inside out.
Mm.
Okay, what else did the source highlight? There was something about upbringing.
Yes, beliefs and upbringing. This looks at the influence of the environment someone grew up in. It can have a surprisingly deep impact.
How so? Like what they saw modeled.
Exactly. If you grew up where infidelity was maybe normalized or even seen as sort of Okay, or expected for men.
That could seriously warp your view of what commitment means, couldn't it?
Absolutely. It can lead to a skewed perspective on monogamy, on what's acceptable within a committed relationship. It sets a different kind of normal.
So their internal rules might be different based on those early experiences. That makes sense.
It really highlights how much those formative years can shape our adult relationship patterns.
Okay, and the final point the source really dug into was unresolved personal issues.
Right, this connects cheating to deeper stuff, like trauma or depression. Yeah, past trauma, underlying depression, significant emotional wounds that maybe haven't been dealt with.
So in that case, infidelity becomes like a coping mechanism, a way to numb the pain.
Kind of. Using that external validation or distraction to escape internal pain, it's a maladaptive coping strategy, essentially.
And again, the source is careful to say, while you can understand why someone might do that if they're hurting.
It's absolutely not fair to the partner. It's still ultimately avoiding the real issue, the core wound that needs healing.
Okay, wow. So we've covered quite a bit. Emotional dissatisfaction, opportunity, impulse control, insecurity, upbringing, unresolved issues. It's definitely not just one thing, is it?
Not at all. It paints a much more complex picture than just saying someone is a bad person.
Which leads us to some really crucial takeaways, especially for anyone listening who's been affected by this.
Yes. And the first message, maybe the most important one for anyone who's been cheated on, is something the source really emphasizes.
And it's so important to hear this. It is not your fault.
Absolutely, unequivocally not your fault.
You could be the most amazing partner in the world, and someone can still make a choice that hurts you deeply. That choice says something about them, about their struggles, their issues.
Not about your worth, not about whether you were enough.
Never about whether you were enough. And for anyone listening who maybe has cheated or feels tempted to,
The message there is about self-reflection, really looking inward. What's really driving this? What need is going unmet?
and urging them to find healthier ways to meet that need. Ways that don't cause so much damage.
Exactly, because as we've seen, it's rarely simple. It's this mix of emotions, internal struggles, maybe opportunity, insecurity, past experiences.
And ultimately, maybe a lack of maturity or healthier coping tools.
And the path forward, whether you're the one who cheated or the one who was hurt, it really requires honesty. Brutal honesty sometimes.
With yourself first, right?
Absolutely. And often, getting help, therapy, serious self-reflection. That's usually essential for any real healing or understanding.
Yeah. Whether the relationship survives or not, that personal work seems key. So wrapping up this deep dive, it's clear this isn't simple. Infidelity in men, it's layered, it's sensitive. No easy answers here.
No easy answers at all. But maybe understanding some of these potential underlying factors can, well, it can offer some insight, perhaps, for navigating relationships or just understanding ourselves better.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
If you found this exploration useful, if it made you think, please do give us a like, subscribe if you haven't, maybe share it.
Yeah, share it with anyone you think might benefit from this conversation. And we genuinely want to know what you want us to explore next.
Totally. Any suggestions? Maybe you want us to look into why women cheat. Or, can relationships actually survive infidelity? Let us know in the comments.
We do read them all, and your feedback really helps shape what we do next.
Okay then, until the next deep dive. Stay real, stay kind.
And keep doing the work.